Whew. All right, peoples. So I just got back from seeing Black Adam. I saw it in XD. I think that's the best way to see it. If you are going to see this movie, I think that's the best way to see it. It was a lot of action, a lot of explosions, and a lot of kicking ass. Like The Rock was not BSing around, bro. He was not BSing. I think The Rock did an amazing job as Black Adam. He did an amazing job as, I don't want to say hero or villain, like whatever line he was trying to, tread. I think he did a good job. You could tell he was waiting a long time for this moment. He was waiting a long time to get this out there. From what I know, they've been trying to get this movie out for like 10 years or something crazy like that. But I could tell The Rock, he enjoyed every moment of it. And he made every minute count. So I thought the movie was pretty badass. There was a lot of things in the movie where I was like, that's kind of lame. That doesn't make any sense. Just like with any movie. So obviously it's not perfect. I'm not going to give it a crazy, oh, it blew my mind or anything. Because there were a lot of things, without spoiling, this is a spoil-free review, but there were a lot of things in it that I was like, I've seen that before, like a million times. There were a couple scenes or story beats in the movie that specifically reminded me of 2008's Incredible Hulk. And I mean a couple other movies from that period, but specifically that movie. Like I don't want to say exactly what reminded me of that, but I don't feel like that made it bad. There was an era where a lot of movies were doing the same little tropes, and I'm just like, this is getting old. But then they stopped doing that, and they kind of like started a new formula. Like Marvel started a whole new formula, and everything was copying their new formula. And now I guess DC's kind of they're trying to mix it up a little bit, basically, taking little bits from all kinds of different movies. Those common, tropes are still there. I think this is the best DC movie I've seen in a while. Zack Snyder's Justice League, the new one that Zack Snyder's, not Joss Whedon's, was actually pretty good. I did enjoy that, watching that on HBO Max. That was good. I mean, maybe besides the original Wonder Woman, and I like Man of Steel. I know a lot of people don't like Man of Steel, but obviously that's the movie that kicked all of this DCU stuff off anyway. So you got to give respect to the OG Man of Steel. But regardless of that, I thought it was good. So at least for me, Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, that's probably the best DCU movies to date right now. Flash is supposedly still coming out, and I've heard really good things about that. I'm guessing that's why they're like, oh, forget what Ezra Miller did. This movie's so good. It's got stuff going for it. They've screened it. The producers have seen it. They've came out and said that it was good. So hey, I think there's a bright future for DCU. I'm gonna mention Aquaman because I'm sure there's a lot of people that would be mad if I didn't mention Aquaman. It wasn't one of my favorites, but I did like a lot of the special effects and them being underwater, and I thought that was really dope. But Aquaman, I just feel like he's a lame character. Sue me. I never liked Aquaman. Back to Black Adam. It was I really liked it. It wasn't too cliche for me. I'll say that. It wasn't too cliche for me. There's a couple things in the story. If you watch a lot of action, movies, you'd be like, okay, that's totally going to happen. And then it didn't happen. And I was like, okay, congratulations. But then they turn around and do something that always happens, and then I'm like, oh wow, nah, you just undid it with that. There's so much I want to talk about, like Hawkman. Jeez, Hawkman. Oh man, without spoiling it, I feel like the actor did a good job with what he was given, but he wasn't given anything good. At a certain point, I'm like Hawkman, come on, what are you doing? I appreciate your braveness and your determination, but stop it. I felt like some of the characters were underutilized and unnecessary, and there was one part in the end where I'm just like, did you have to do that? I get what you're doing, but did you have to do that? Especially given the current situation at that very specific moment. I can understand before it happened why you felt that way, but in that moment, did you have to do that? Based off of the trailers, they don't explain a lot of what happens in the story in the trailers. So I only want to mention things that's been in the trailers or been released to the public. So with that being said, there's only so much that I can say. But I would give this movie a solid 7 out of 10, and I recommend it for a watch, especially if you like The Rock, you like action, you like DC. I mean, if you like superheroes, I think it's a good watch. I wouldn't say pass it up. The theater was packed. Got a couple giggles out of the movie. The Rock is very charismatic, so he really carried a lot of that film. The side characters I felt were very insignificant, maybe besides Hawkman and Doctor Fate. Maybe one or two of the human characters were, prominent in the story. Like I said, 7 out of 10. I recommend you guys check it out. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, let me know if you want me to do a breakdown or some kind of explain on the movie, so that way you guys can get the scoop on what goes down in Black Adam. But like I said, overall good movie, 7 out of 10. Check it out. Let me know what you guys want next. Peace.